Do you think you can save furniture that comes from a smoker home? Because this one is awful. It's one of the smelliest pieces I've ever worked on. I had a friend send me a picture that this was in a thrift store and asked me, "Do you want it?" Of course I do. And so they picked it up for me and brought it here, and it's a Drexel. It is a beautiful shape. I love the style of it. So I hadn't seen it in person, but when it got here, it's gross. It's got all kinds of crud on the top, but when you open the drawers, the smell, it's just so thick with cigarette smell. But I'm going to see if I can just completely remediate all of that and fix this dresser. It's worth trying to save. And I do have some tricks up my sleeve, so we're going to see if we can turn this around and make it beautiful and unsmelly. I had to get all the hardware off, and these little back plates and all are held on by small little nails. These escutcheons also needed to go. They're fake. They're just sitting there doing nothing. And this whole dresser is very busy, and it's intentionally weathered. So there's dents and dings and nicks and, in patterns and things all over the place. You can kind of see, but look how dirty that was underneath there. Gross. And I was like, ooh, I touched that with my hand. And this needed such a good cleaning. And yes, everyone's going to tell me you should have been wearing gloves. I get it, but I just can dive in. And this is how dirty this was. Gross. Yes, after I did this, I was like, I should have been wearing gloves, and I washed my hands because, ew. But I don't know I do know what's on there. This is probably years of cigarettes, and it just gets on everything. I took the drawers out and started to number it and went, oh, they're already numbered. Look at that. Somebody was on my wavelength. They know. Okay, time to get these all cleaned up inside as well. There's lots of tricks where people are like, you should just put this product in it and let it sit overnight and use charcoal. This is way beyond that. You can use bleach, you can use vinegar, you can do all the things. And I knew that that was going to do nothing. So I just went ahead and cleaned these with my normal cleaner. This is Crud Cutter, because I just wanted to get all the dirt and grime and things off of these. This is going to involve some extra steps to save, but every inch of this needs to get wiped down and cleaned, because I can't have any dust or anything anywhere. But the inside of this, besides the smell, is beautiful. It's just such a shame. Of course, I've got some things to deal with on the outside, and there's lots of repairs that have to happen. Parts of the trim are missing or barely hanging on by a thread, but I did get a lot of that gunk cleaned off the top. And it's time to start diving into some other things on this. So the base, you know me, I will cut a base in a minute, and everyone's going to be shocked that I left that kind of swoop down in the middle, that curve that comes down in the middle. But I thought that worked. But this little thing right there, they always remind me of like flames or something, the pokey stuff. I just want those off of there. So I grabbed my jigsaw. I just used some tape and a simple design because it was really just a straight across. And just that one little thing, surprisingly, makes a huge difference. But I had to do it everywhere. So, of course, the ends had it as well. I almost cut that one straight across on the end. But once I got those cut, now I need to address this trim. This piece was just hanging on by a thread, and it had just gunk, like probably more of the same stuff that was on the top, but also all of the old varnish and stuff that was on here just caked on there. So I had to get all of that sanded down smooth, because once I put it on, I don't want to have to deal with that, or it would look horrible in my new finish. So getting some wood glue on here, and you always want to put enough wood glue so when you put your pieces together, it squishes out a little bit. So that's perfect. I was going to put a brad nail, but I think if I put a brad nail in this old wood, it's going to split it. So I just decided to go ahead and do it with just the wood glue. It's set overnight, and now I need to address the trim that's completely missing. There's lots of ways to do this. You can make silicone molds of other areas and do it. I just decided let's just put some Bondo on there, and I'm going to shape it once it's all dry. So I've done this many times, and this works for me. It's just a bunch of Bondo, and it's going to involve a bunch of hand sanding in a little while. But once I get the Bondo on there, it's going to sit for a little while, and then I can get going. But there was damage to the trim all over the place. And those are Places where, you can't sand it down, you can't do anything else to it, you can't replace it with another piece of wood. It's really just having to put a product in there that's going to replace it. Yeah, there was parts of it missing in really random places. I thought, how did that get damaged? And now glazing and spot putty is my friend because the front of these, as I mentioned, very weathered. And so there's lots of dents and dings, but also this old finish is all very cracked. And that will show up in the new finish, so I had to do all of that. And I'm using seal coat. So there's a few different ways that you can seal in the old cigarette smell. I chose to do seal coat. You can use shellac. They're all very similar in what they're going to do here, and you can leave no stone unturned here. Every single inch of this piece has to be sealed. I'm going to be doing all of these areas now because I don't need to do anything with them, and then all the repaired areas are going to get sealed after I sand and do all of that. If you turn your dressers up on the side, you'll see how easy I could get in there. If I had left it sitting normal, I'd be standing on my head trying to get that. So just flip your furniture around in order to get into those places. But again, under the drawers, the sides of the drawers, the back of the drawers, inside the drawers, everything needs to get sealed. There's no way to get that smell out of the wood. You just have to seal it in. So every inch of this is getting sealed. And I really like the sealer on the insides of the drawers because it's like a permanent wood conditioner. It's never going to look dry again. It's always going to have that nice look to it. But I did multiple coats. Of course, underneath, you need to do the back. Everything is sealed. At least everything that's not repaired is sealed. So now I'm going to start working on this Bondo. It's had a few hours to set up. And I am using the contour sanding blocks there. They really help a lot because you've got some that are shaped for the curve and you've got some for the edges. And you can see, once that's painted, you'll never even see it. It's perfect. You'll never even see it. And I have a bunch of those areas to sand, so this is taking a while to get everything sanded by hand. But moving on to the larger areas and doing some scuff sanding. Again, it's going to be a while before it's all sealed up, but right now it's still, my whole garage smells like a horrible cheap hotel. But the surf prep was really helpful in these areas to just get right over those details. More scuff sanding, lots of failing finish on the top. And when it starts to fail on the top, you get this really rough finish, and that has to be sealed in because it will look horrible in a new painted finish. I use the glazing and spot putty. You can float this with wood filler. You could do even a thin skim coat of Bondo. There's all kinds of products that you can do for that. It's essentially just filling in wood grain. But that glazing and spot putty works really well too. And now these are all sanded, so I went ahead and sealed those. And now I'm doing that area where I filled in all of the wood grain or that failing finish on top. You can see it's all filled in. It looks horrible, but if you rub your hand across it, it's all smooth. So it's kind of crazy how it looks like. That would be really rough, but when you feel it, it's super smooth. So now I can go ahead and get that sealed. And into the tent, because I'm painting this, of course, because it's such a disaster, I'm going to paint it. My original thought when I saw this was tan washing. Strip it, tan wash it, make it light and beautiful, but there was no way with this when it was in the condition that it's in. So a good coat of primer, and I'm going to let that set, and then once everything's dry, I'll come back and sand it. And all the imperfections that are on this, because it's intentionally weathered, they're just going to be there. You can't make this look perfect again, but I think it's kind of part of the appeal of this piece. It's just cute. And then a beautiful black finish. I thought if I couldn't have it in my tan wash because of the smell, I was going to have it in black because I think that was its color. So I got paint on there, top coat on there, and now new hardware. It's just what this piece needed. Well, let's take a look back at where this started. Even though I got this sight unseen and it was not in the condition that I thought it would be in, it turned out so pretty. I think this is just a beautiful statement piece now. The black finish with those curves and the gold hardware just elevated this piece even more than what it was originally. Drexel just makes the best furniture, and I'm so glad I could save this piece and bring it back to life. I hope you like it now as much as I do. Thanks for watching.